In the grim summer of 2018, my family sent me to the halls of an institution whispered to transgress the bounds of morality by conducting human experiments, a place where science blurred the lines between innovation and ethical abyss. Or so I thought. In all seriousness, after I went into respiratory failure and was airlifted to Toronto General Hospital, I was obviously on a ton of different medications. This caused me to go into a drug-induced delirium while in the ICU. In this video, I'm going to describe the story of this entire experience. In one of my previous videos, I described my experience with thoracic air leak syndrome. You can check out the link here. This reached its peak with a life-threatening episode of respiratory failure in July of 2018. I have a vivid memory of lying on the hospital bed, being rushed toward the ICU, and I'm flailing about, like desperately trying to catch my breath. If anyone has ever seen the movie Hereditary, where the sister goes into anaphylactic shock in the back seat and she's just flailing about, desperately trying to catch her breath, that is exactly what I'm experiencing in this moment. I remember the lights on the ceiling passing me by as I'm being rushed to the ICU, and the next thing I know, I wake up intubated, and honestly, I'm relatively calm, sedated. My family was told I might not even make it through the weekend, and when I did, the doctors decide lung transplantation is my only option. So they decide to airlift me to Toronto General Hospital because that is the facility where they do lung transplants. After my arrival to Toronto, this is when the chaos began. Here's how I remember it. One of the first things they did when I arrived is perform a bronchoscopy. They wanted to see for themselves the extent of the damage to my lungs. This is where my timeline gets incredibly screwed up. I thought the experience in London, where I was rushed to the ICU, seeing the lights go by above me, actually happened in Toronto after the bronchoscopy. For whatever reason, I had a sinister feeling in Toronto compared to the ICU in London, where I had felt relatively at ease and calm. Because of this, I thought my family had sent me to Toronto so the doctors could experiment on me. In my head, I'm thinking, well, from their point of view, I'm going to die, so we might as well use his living body for experimentation, for science. It started off as hallucinations. While I physically can't see this, I feel as if there's water on the floor and it's eventually rising and will get to the bed and then will eventually drown me. The next feeling, it's really hard to describe, but it's as if my entire room is encased in a water bubble. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Now this is where it starts to get terrifying. In my head, I'm convinced that I've been abandoned to a hospital that's going to perform experiments on me. Therefore, I've convinced myself that I've already murdered a doctor in self-defense. I'm laying in bed, trying to come up with an alibi just in case I'm questioned by a nurse, but I cannot for the life of me think of one. My room has a window directly in front of me, and I can see the nurse's station, and I can see the nurses going by in the hallway. Like I said, I'm completely convinced that I've already murdered a doctor. So as they walk by, I'm hiding my phone and just making sure that they can't see anything that I'm doing. At some point, they're going to figure out that I've murdered this doctor, and I still haven't figured out an alibi. I'm in a complete panic. At this point, I'm texting my family for help, and I actually still have those texts. Here's the first one. I say, help, hello, come now. Response, what's happening? Give phone to nurse to call me. Tell me what's going on. Visiting hours aren't till 11. She says, come now. Holy frig, help. I just talked to the nurse. You are fine. Visiting hours don't start till 11. Something is wrong. What? The nurse will call me if I need to come. Now, mom. You are restrained because you are trying to remove your breathing tube. Breathing and feeding tube. Thanks. Oh, things aren't like London. She's probably like half passed out. There are visiting hours. I'm saying come now. Then how'd you come last night? Because she was there late. Because you had procedures done. Was supposed to be out at 9. Come now. They saying weird things. We are terrible at texting. You are drugs that are making you think weird things. Lay back and try to relax. If you leave me here, I die. You will not be. Just relax, listen to some music. I'll be in shortly. Want to bring a book? All day, I'm gonna bug you. I'm literally like in a panic. Text your dad. She's like trying to pawn it off. No. Hey, want me to bring your coloring book? I don't even remember this. Why not? Working on it? No, come now, please. Why is it taking so long? Why are you so agitated? For one, it's about 25 minutes to get there. Visiting hours don't start till 11. Ask the nurse if we can come earlier. Again, please hurry. I never came this early when you were in London. Hey, your turn at trivia crack. I'm pretty sure she's trying to get my mind off this. On my way. Yeah, so it goes on like this. And yeah. So at this point, I start texting my brother. Help. Mom knows where. Dude, what do you need? I need help at the hospital. Mom's not helping. I kind of just gave up. We'll get there when we can. Mom says visiting hours isn't till 11. He sucks at texting too. I can get there earlier maybe. Hurry. What's going on? Please, bad things. Jeez, man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do my best. Do the trivia crack turn. We must have been obsessed with this. No, come here. Mom is on the way. Should be there soon with your MacBook. Help. Be strong, brother. Mom there yet? Yeah. And that's it. This is from my dad. He clearly is just like, I'm not dealing with this. I go, help. She will be there soon, Mike. I think I meant to say, Mom won't. Try to relax. Mom won't. I know this sucks. Ugh. And then that's it. I just gave up. I'm like, he's not helping me at all. You can see in some of the text, my family says visiting hours don't start till 11, which I don't believe to be true because in London, we pretty much had any time we wanted to visit was fine. So in my head, I think they're lying to me, which leads me to believe that I'm not even talking to my family at this point. I think that someone has stolen their phones, like someone in the hospital has stolen their phones, and they're just screwing with me. Keep in mind, I am not thinking rationally by any stretch of the imagination. Now I think I need to pull out my breathing tube and my feeding tube and escape the hospital. I have a vivid memory of trying to pull my breathing tube out and a nurse rushing in to stop me. She calls out for more help and two other nurses come in. One holds me down, one injects me with a syringe into my IV port, and then everything goes black. I wake up again before visiting hours, so my family has not arrived, and it's kind of rinse and repeat of the exact same experiences, except now I'm restrained. I still have my phone, and I continue to text my family for help. The delirium that had swiftly taken over had just as quickly dissipated when my mom and my brother entered my room. In that moment, the terrifying illusion shattered, and I realized my family had not condemned me to some nightmarish facility of torment and experimentation. Today, my family and I can joke about this, but in those moments, that was as real as any other experience I had endured up till then. I mentioned in a previous video how I had a conversation with someone who had experienced a similar situation overall, and just how inspiring that was for me, which was one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel in the first place. So check out that video if you have time. Over the last several years, I've dealt with cancer and 2 transplants, and I felt like it's provided me a lot of unique experiences. If you have watched this whole video, please feel free to comment with your own experiences, or if you have questions or suggestions for future videos. I would love to hear from you. As always, if you like this video, please consider sharing and subscribing.